Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. Maureen Hayes from Galveston, Texas, and our weather looks pretty good. But I'm joined by Jim and Ann Glenn from San Antonio, Texas, who have thunderstorms rolling in. Jim is our big money man, and Ann is our beautiful personal trainer and nutritionist. And of course, we have Dr. Lee Osler, who is our dentist extraordinaire and amazing author of 4+ books on redox signaling molecules, from the most heavy in science down to why you even want to take a look at this. So you guys go to redoxmatters.com and look at all of his books there. They're absolutely amazing. And tonight we have a very special guest on, one of our product formulators. So you guys, we take great pride in this company. We're very transparent about the science and about our products, and we love for people to come to headquarters and to tour our product facility to see how the magic is made and to meet the people behind it. And Henry Lopez has been absolutely amazing. He's going to be talking tonight about our Cell Performance products, and he is the person who actually put these ingredients together. And I'm not going to take anything away from him. I'm going to let him talk about all the ingredients he chose and even how he went to bat for us, because these products not just contain these incredible ingredients that a lot of people want to give lip service to, but they're there in the amount that studies have shown are therapeutic. So without further ado, Henry Lopez, come on and talk to us about the Cell Performance products. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so
Yes.
much, Dr. Marine. Yes, I'm so excited to be here every single time I'm on this call. I just get so excited. You guys are amazing. And I was just telling Jim that I noticed his skin is looking nicer. Not that it was bad before, but man, he must be taking some radiance, right? Like,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah.
And
So
thinner.
we're gonna talk today about cell performance, and obviously, like Dr. Marines Hayes said, we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty. We'll get into some science here and there, Jim. So tell me if it gets too sciencey.
Yeah, try to keep it at my level, guys. Keep it at my level.
Okay, so let me share my presentation, my screen here.
Yes.
Can I pipe in real quick? Because when we started, Maureen, I know the same thing with you, but we only had the drink and the gel. When you started, they just had the liquid, right? Um,
Yeah. I mean, back
yeah,
12 years ago, all we had was the liquid, and the gel is, I have some
yeah,
right. The
what do
gel
we
is
call
a liquid in a different form, in a topical form.
Mhm.
So yeah. So what are you going to say, Jim,
Well,
that they put
hope in a bottle and magic in a tube. But
in?
what I wanted to say is that when we started to come out with the added products, it was like I go, oh, you
Mm.
know, it's like we're going to become a Me Too company. But then I went to the meetings. Let me finish, Maureen. We went to the meetings and we learned, oh my gosh, what they put in is top of the line. No one else can compete with us with the price points. Frankly, no one can compete anyway because everything is based on redox principles.
Yep.
So that's what anything from, well, for quite a while we've believed this, that anything that comes out from now on is like we're on board because I know that ASEA is behind it with the values, morals, and ethics of this company and with the leadership, like with Henry. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jim, for mentioning that. Yeah, whenever we design something or we create something, we definitely, study it, make sure that we're meeting the amounts that we need to do. Like we have Dr. Andrea Borges, who will substantiate every ingredient. And really quick about me, Jim, I almost didn't introduce myself. Oh my goodness. But I've been here for 8 years. I started in manufacturing, creating the ARS, the blue bottle, and Renew. So I have a unique perspective on the technology as I've, have grown to, in the beginning, I was like, what is going on here? I am so confused. This is the only product I've ever seen that uses electrolysis to create a product. And I fell in love with it just because I'm very stubborn. And if I don't understand something, I really have to get to the bottom of it. So yeah, I could say I've become an expert in that technology. And the Renew and the ARS, the blue bottle, that's going to be your foundational product. So if we were to create a house, you need a base. You need to create the foundation on it. For our bodies, the foundation is going to be the blue bottle and the Renew. But you also need to create, to finish a house, a foundation, you also want to add different stuff. And this is where Cell Performance comes in. We're just adding to that to create the best ourselves, best body we can. So this is just a targeted performance. So let me share my screen now. Okay, tell me if you can see my screen.
You ready? Oh,
Now we can.
it's coming.
Okay,
It's almost there.
almost there. Okay.
The internet, you can't live with it. You can't live without it.
I know, right? It's like I got
Right.
dial up again or something. What's going on?
It seems stuck.
Maybe back out and try it again.
Okay.
While we're waiting for that, I'd love to speak to you're talking about them bringing on other products, Jim, because really, what we noticed when we really didn't know a whole lot about redox signaling and how it worked or what it was doing, we did notice that the more good you did for your body, the better the product seemed to work. And so when they came out, because a lot of people don't know how to supplement, they don't know what it means to take good nutrition or why they would need that. And so I just love the fact that the company
There
brought
it is.
different products to us. So yeah, go ahead, Henry, take it over.
Well,
That's great.
Hey,
That's so
Maureen,
great.
kind of real quick question on that, but have you noticed that people that are already healthy, like Ann, eating good nutrition and good exercise and good water, do you notice that sometimes they have a quicker response to the ARS, to the blue bottle?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people who have already got those things in place, they
Yeah.
talk about it being like, people who have tried a number of different things, have changed their diet, they're supplementing, they're exercising, they're doing all the good things. It's like flipping a switch. For others, those who are sitting, as I like to say, sitting on the sofa with a Big Mac in one hand and a clicker in the other.
Remote in the other, yeah.
It can take a while. It took me 6 weeks.
Hmm.
Anyway, go ahead, Henry.
No,
Well, if you don't mind, either Henry or Dr. Osler, do you mind go ahead and just so we can get it out there, or
yeah.
Henry, what are
Please,
redox
go.
molecules real quick, and then the disclaimer.
The disclaimer.
Yep. So I can just start it out real quick. Basically the difference between self-signaling and self-performance. Again, we don't create the ingredients like the molecules we create in our self-signaling products, like the Blue Bottle and Renew. So the ingredients that are in the self-performance, they already exist as, compounds, ingredients. We don't perform electrolysis or anything like that, right? But the nice thing is that we create unique blends from these compounds in the self-performance, and that's going to allow your cells to boost targeted stuff. Like, for example, you need more energy. The thing with ARS, the Blue Bottle, it will kind of get you balanced back to, a homeostasis level. But sometimes we need that little extra push, right? We need more energy, or we're grumpy, and there's going to be those products for that, right? But both are going to be supporting our body to do what it knows how to do best. And Dr. Lee Osler, did you want to go ahead and explain that if you want to go more in depth on
And
that?
Henry, real quick, you're in presenter mode, so we can see the next slide
Okay.
on our end. So if you want to fix that while Lee goes over the
Yeah.
medical disclaimer.
Well, it is exciting to have everybody with us today, and to have Henry. He's a great friend, colleague, and knowledgeable about what I call redox active, and hopefully he'll get into that, because these aren't bioenergetic, but they're very active in the redox pathways. We are all, except Henry, who's employed by the company, and the rest of us are associates who are working for ASEA as distributors. This is a supplement that we're talking about, and so we don't make any claims to diagnose, treat, or cure anything. This is a cellular health targeted product and product line. And Henry, go ahead and take it from there.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just my presenter mode is my screen.
If
keeps
someone's saying that if you go to display settings,
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go back to it.
and then go to slideshow and do from beginning.
Yeah, you'd think slideshow for sure would get there.
There you go. Yay.
Oh, look at
Okay, there we go.
that.
Okay, so
Now-
why did we even develop the cell performance in the first line? Well, it was going to be a good product, like introductory product to ASEA. So it's going to bring people to ARS. For example, it's easy to tell someone like, hey, do you need more energy? Do you need more focus throughout your day? These are just quick hitters, things to disperse pretty easily in stick packs. So they get their attention. And then once you get them, it's easy to introduce, well, easier to bring up other products that we have to offer, like our flagship product, which is the Blue Bottle. And like Maureen Hayes said, Cell Performance is going to have those effective doses to meet the claims. Whereas a lot of other products, you're going to see tons and tons and tons of ingredients, but they don't even have the amount that is needed to create those results. And that's where we wanted to make sure when we created them that we had the amount and the substantiation to make those claims. All formulas are going to be free of synthetic flavors, colors, and preservatives. So we don't add any sugar to it. They're gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, GMO-free, and they are going to be keto-friendly. That is something we added on there because they're obviously really low in calories and they're not going to have added sugars. Typically, you get out of ketosis after you consume about, depending on the person, you're looking about 45 grams to 50 grams. Then you start switching to more of, your glycogen, your glucose storage instead of burning your fatty acids.
Hey, Henry.
Mhm.
Hey, real quick, the statement that you made before that, talking about the effective doses, what Maureen called the therapeutic. Do a lot of companies, they don't do that? I mean, is this kind of unusual in the industry? Could you kind of maybe touch on that? Because that seems to be a big deal. Because the other companies go, oh, well, we have that, but
Yeah, no,
they
no,
have just
good point. One of the reasons why is because obviously it gets expensive. For example, we use a lot of branded ingredients, and those ingredients are usually like, let's call it the Ferraris of ingredients. They're
okay.
expensive. Not many people like to add on too much of it because it just, as a formulator, you get a certain budget. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I exceeded my budget when I was creating these. And it was so nice when Scott and team, when I told them how much it cost. I'll just give you an example. The Mood product contains saffron or Affron, which is a branded version of saffron, which is the most potent saffron out there because it has the most concentrated leptocrylosides, which is what gives those nice benefits. But I told him the price and I was like, oh no, is he gonna let it happen? And he's like, sure, go ahead. If this is what's gonna happen, like if this is what we need and this is what's gonna get people to feel good and just give those results, then let's go for it. And I'd love that. That proved to me, what kind of company we are. We're gonna invest in our people's health. And we truly, genuinely care that we start, like to my next slide, surviving to thriving. That's what I like to say. And here, let's thrive. Let's get out there and let's go, go for our goals. I think since I've been here at ASEA, like I said, I've been here 8 years. My mindset has shifted. Before I was just kind of like just getting by, but I was like, you know what? Let's push our limits. Let's push ourselves, and for me, for example, last year was a turning point as I did a bodybuilding show. And let me just tell you, I did use these products for that because I was very nervous. But, the idea of being in stage and being in your, a little underwear and showing off your muscles really scared me. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Why can't I do it? Why not me? That's what my question is. So that's the idea and mindset of just going to thriving. Let's push ourselves. And that's what Cell Performance, is going to help you do.
Hey,
So
Henry,
yeah.
since you do bodybuild, did you do double up in quantity, the energy? Did you do it during training extra and then
Yeah.
on competition day? Did
Yeah.
you spread it out or put it all together, or how'd you do
Yeah,
that for the training?
good question. So it depends. In bodybuilding, sometimes you go into maintaining phase, you go bulking phase, you go cutting phase when you lean out. Right now, I'm in the leaning out phase. So I kind of will give you a little protocol that I'm doing. With the energy, for example, I'll take that first thing in the morning when I wake up. And the reason why I'll do that, obviously, so I can get going, but there's an ingredient in here called acetyl L-carnitine, and it has guarana as well. So in the morning, you're going to be more prone to burning those fatty acids or fat. If you go out on a little walk or on a brisk walk, you're going to be a fat burning machine. But then these acetyl L-carnitine, what that's going to do, that's going to even increase the ability for you to burn fatty acids because that ingredient actually delivers those fatty acids to the cell and creates energy in the mitochondria. So you're accelerating the fat loss. So that's why I like to take it right in the morning. without food, without eating any other food, just that and water. And I'll go on a 30 to 40-minute walk. And that's usually when you start burning your fat reserves about 30 minutes into your cardio session. But the thing is, you don't want to get too accelerated in your heart rate because then you tap into your glycogen stores, and that's not good for your muscles because you want to keep glycogen in there. And we can go on, I can go on about that all day. So
Great.
Oh,
but
well,
I
wait,
do,
wait, Henry. You're saying that you take the energy first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and then you go and take a walk. Most of us are mixing the energy and mind first thing in the morning.
Mhm.
Is it
You can as well. You can mix the mind.
okay? Doesn't make a difference, but take it first thing.
Yeah, first
Like,
thing.
okay.
So,
Exactly.
I usually throw my radiance in with that too. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. You shouldn't get out of you'll still be on such low calories that you're not going to switch to your glycogen storage yet.
Okay. So
So
you'll still be, so these almost like, they almost behave like you're in keto, whether you are or not. Correct?
yeah, they're not going to bump you out of it because they're not too high. But again, that can be, it's every individual's a little different. Some people can get out of it at like 25 grams of carbs. Some people, the average is usually about 45 to 50 grams of carbs or sugars. Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm doing keto and I'm following my blood sugars, my keto levels, I've never seen any of the cell performance products knock me out. None of
That's
them.
awesome.
There's
Oh my
nothing
gosh.
in them that would do it, I don't think.
Yeah, there isn't the sugar, the insulin spikes, right?
Right.
so Henry, mixing them doesn't deter from the other. They don't take away from the other. They all will still do what they're designed to do if you mix all three, which is what we do as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a compounding effect, right? You just
So
add
that's a
on.
good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a
Okay.
benefits. And
Okay.
I do double dose to your question, and I do put two energies sometimes in the morning to get me going. Because I think, when you're such in a low calorie deficit, it's really hard to get out of bed. So I'll do that
Mhm.
sometimes as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so what to expect from this product? Well, unlike most high caffeine products, it's gonna give you those jitters, and when you come off of it, you're gonna have, even less energy than when you started. This is not what it's gonna do, right? So it's gonna be a sustained energy feeling. For individuals, it may last for 3 to 5 hours. So this is great for those individuals looking to reduce caffeine intake, and also providing additional ingredients that are going to have healthy benefits for you as well. One thing that I've noticed a trend, obviously, is a lot of high caffeine intakes. I put this in here like just so we can see the average daily caffeine intake is about 230, depending on the age, and it goes down and whatnot. But the problem with having such caffeine, really, really high caffeine all the time, you're going to get those unwanted effects like insomnia, sometimes those headaches, increased heart rate. You will get dehydrated because caffeine is a diuretic. That means you're just going to go to the restroom more often. So you got to stay hydrated. And the one I really want to touch up on is the adrenal fatigue. That is one thing that I've noticed a lot of people telling me is that I take so many things, so much caffeine, but I still feel like it's not doing anything. Well, what is caffeine doing as well? It does good things, right? It's going to keep you energized and stuff, but it's also going to release a little bit of cortisol and a little bit of adrenaline as well. And that can be taxing to your adrenal glands because it's constantly working and working
That's
and
right.
working, right? If you're taking a lot of caffeine. So I actually have a cool thing that you can take here that is the mood. The Redox Mood is actually going to help with that because it has adaptogens like Rhodiola rosea, which is going to help you adapt. And what I mean by adapting is going to help decrease those cortisol levels so they're not so high up all the time and causing all that stress on your adrenals. So I definitely take Mood every single day. I like to take it when I'm going higher in caffeine. I take the Mood twice a day because I know I'm taxing more of my adrenals when my caffeine intake is higher.
Wow. Henry, let me ask you about that because, I think I'm somebody who probably does have adrenal fatigue. I can drink a cup of coffee on my way to bed. It has absolutely no effect on me. Interesting. I mean, being a physician, being on call, I've probably drank my weight in coffee, it just doesn't affect me. However, the energy does, I won't say that it's not like, it doesn't give me like a boost or anything. It doesn't make me feel like, all of a sudden I've got this jolt of energy. It just makes
Mhm.
me feel more awake.
Right.
but also, Jim, are we recording? Somebody just asked if we were recording. I don't-
Yeah, we are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, top left.
Yeah, if you could, yeah, I'm not singing. Yeah, Henry, if you could speak to that, and can you speak to those of us who maybe do have some adrenal fatigue? What
Can
do
you
we
explain that, Maureen? What is
Yeah,
adrenal fatigue, please?
it's like you burn out your adrenal glands, like Henry was talking about. There's a feedback loop. And so, when you are overstimulating things, then your adrenals they slow down. They're not doing their job
Mhm.
like they would. That's where your adrenaline, your epinephrine comes from and all. And so you can interrupt that hormonal feedback loop by artificially stimulating things.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us who like live off of caffeine, like when I was a resident and, for a lot of years being on call, where I was really reliant. Not so much. I mean, it got to the point where I drank so much coffee. I remember when I was pregnant, my doctor, they don't like for you to take too much caffeine when you're pregnant. She's like, you're gonna have to go for like 9 pots a day down to like a cup or two, but still even, my kid is now 31, so I'm way out from pregnancy, but still I can drink a cup of coffee and go to bed. It still has no effect on me.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. So, one thing too, you'll notice with adrenal fatigue and, kind of seeing if you have it or not sometimes, one of the symptoms, should I say, that you can feel sometimes is like still feeling tired even after you had sufficient sleep. Like, have you ever had like 8 or 7 hours? You're like, oh, I had a lot of hours, but I'm still super tired. Another thing with adrenal fatigue is like you crave a lot of like salty foods or
Yeah.
sweet foods. And again, that could be another thing like right away when you wake up. And again, it's because of the chronic stress, the high cortisol all the time, right? Stress is good for a little bit amount of time. It's great for us, but it's the chronic that gets us in the end. And again, with caffeine, another thing we get so adjusted to it is because the adenosine receptors, because that's essentially how caffeine works. It doesn't create more ATP or anything like that. What it does, it just basically blocks those receptors, the adenosine receptors, or not blocks, but it goes in there. So it acts like adenosine. So the adenosine doesn't connect to those receptors, so you don't get sleepy. But your body is very smart. It realizes that there's a lot of adenosine hanging out everywhere. So it's going to create more of these receptors. So eventually you have to have more caffeine so you can block more of these receptors. So you can see it's like you gradually like, I was good here, now I need more here, now I need more, now I need more. And it's just the best thing to do sometimes when you reach to that point. And I hate to say this, but sometimes you need to take a break for like a week or two, or have something that is not going to be like so intense, that goes really high, right? Because that's going to shock your system. You need something more sustained, like how this energy product is going to be good for that.
Exactly.
That's a really good point, Henry. I'm sorry, Ann. I was just thinking because when I do water fast and I go off of caffeine, that's the worst thing for me. It's the caffeine. It bothers me. The coffee, not having the coffee bothers me more than anything, severe headaches and all. So I wonder if when I do, like if I, not that I have one in the near future, but if I do a water fast, I can probably do the energy because that's going to be a slower burn. It's not going to affect my numbers at all. And it's probably going to keep me from having such severe response to the coming off of the caffeine.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
don't mind
It's
me,
not a
I
good
mean,
thing.
Alan, if you don't mind me saying, but Alan Noble is saying that he was drinking a real high caffeine drink, and then with the energy, he doesn't, and he has no benefit from the high caffeine drink, but then he drinks the energy, and he does get the energy. I mean, stupid question, but why is that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So again, back to the comment I made earlier, caffeine does not create more energy in your body. It is not going to help your mitochondria. It's not going to help that process to create a support the formation of ATP. Whereas this redox energy will support the formation of ATP with some of the ingredients that it has. For example, acetyl L-carnitine. We even have an ingredient called peak ATP in here. That's literally ATP as well. So again, what is ATP? Well, that's basically how your body functions. It's the energy source of your cells. That's how it just survives, right? But yeah, that's to your did that satisfy Jim? Like your
Yeah. Well, someone is asking, so the energy drink with a C is better than caffeine to someone who has adrenal issues. Obviously, it would be.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so as you could
Uh,
tell, this is sorry, it was some
Oh, no, just that these exceptional ingredients. I mean, people have seen weight loss. I know Scott Aldred's commented about his results. I mean, when you get those adrenals in check and you start healing your adrenals, you can see weight loss. So it's a pretty
mhm,
important gland. And that's why I'm so impressed with how they made these and these stackable benefits that all of these
mhm.
products give. As you use them longer, you're going to see even more results.
So,
Exactly.
so is
Exactly.
that kind of the case? Like with ARS, you can have a cleansing or a rebalancing. So is the same thing true with these? That if you get off the other things and you just do these, could your system have that rebalancing effect?
In a way, yes, if whatever you were taking before was too aggressive in certain, instances, like a very high caffeine product or a very high stimulant type of product, you always want to have a good amount of ingredients. There's sometimes we look at the back labels, for example, there's beta alanine, is an example I'm just throwing out there. Beta alanine, if you take it too high of a levels, that's not good, right? So I'm just saying, yes, it is to help you rebalance. This will help you if you're taking something that's just way too much out there.
Well, because
Um,
that's what I mean. The big deal is that everyone out there, so many people are just going to the 7-Eleven and popping those energy drinks, and they're just not good at all for the body versus with what we have. It's so
exactly,
clean.
Yeah,
exactly.
5 hour energy and all. Hey,
Yeah.
Those are dangerous.
Henry, this is a huge thing. Talk about the carnitine enhancing insulin sensitivity.
Yeah, yeah. Again, in the morning, for example, when you wake up, that's usually when I would take it, for example. That's usually when your insulin sensitivity is going to be great, to take. Um, I guess my question to you, Dr. Marine, from your knowledge, how has insulin, how does that affect everyone's health? Like, can you tell me a little bit from your perspective as being a medical doctor? How is insulin, why is it so important to keep it in check? That's just, I want to throw that back at you, and then I'm gonna, so
Yeah,
everyone
Lee
can.
might
Well,
Lee might
yeah,
have an answer on that too.
sure. And I'm happy for Lee to jump in here. I'm thinking about, especially in the morning, there's something called the dawn phenomenon. And a lot of people have high blood sugars first thing in the morning because before you wake up, kind
Mhm,
of as the sun's coming up, you'll have a spike in cortisol. And this is to
mhm.
kind of get you going. It's kind of to increase your insulin. And of course, insulin helps with your blood sugar and kind of gets it out of the bloodstream and into the cells. For most people, it's not a big deal. Everything is working fine. Now if you have type 1 diabetes, there's a problem in that your beta cells or your pancreas is not making insulin. You have to have insulin to live. For type 2, which is becoming sort of epidemic,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the cells are too full. And
Mhm.
if you think of insulin as being kind of the street sweeper, it's trying to push that blood sugar into the cells and there's nowhere to put it. So that's why I was interested in that, because that's a problem that a lot of people have, that we need to, kind of clean things up and kind of get the cells back into a normal balance again with the
Exactly.
blood sugars. But it's interesting because when you were saying taking it first thing in the morning, a lot of people will see, even with their fasting blood sugars, their blood sugar may be a little bit higher,
Mhm.
maybe 100 or even a little bit higher than 100, because of that dawn phenomena. So it'd be interesting to see how taking energy would enhance that, or have the cells be, or more
Yeah.
sensitive to that blood sugar. So
Yeah, and it's almost an indirect way that it's helping enhance it, right? Because what it's going to do by taking those fatty acids into your mitochondria, that's going to improve it by one. Um, Basically, it's going to basically more mitochondria function better. That the healthier it is, the better it is for supporting insulin sensitivity. So that's essentially how it's working with that one. The other one too on here is the accelerates the recovery from strenuous workouts. So there's a lot of neat stuff. If you guys ever want to get more information, if you're a nerd like me and like to read up on ingredients, type in acetyl L-carnitine, and you're going to see that the acetyl part is going to be different than the normal L-carnitine, because the acetyl part actually allows it to go through your brain, through your blood-brain barrier, whereas the normal L-carnitine won't. When it goes through your brain, what it does, it actually provides your body and the brain more tools that it needs to stay sharp. So it will create more acetyl CoA, for example, and that's really important for your brain health. So it's tackling on two themes by this one as well. Just quick and with the energy, how's it going to improve your potential? Well, you're just going to be more active, feel more energetic. You want to go on a hike, bike, you know, I think this is what you need. This is what you're going to get out there and enjoy what you love to do. Redox Mind. Okay. This is one of my favorite products here. I love this one, but let's talk about the amazing brain real quick. So the brain contains 100 billion neurons. The average person produces about 70 thoughts per day. Probably, you know, I actually have ADHD, so I probably have a lot more than that. And you know, so it's always busy, right? So the average human attention span when they did this survey in the year 2000 was 12 seconds. The average human attention span in 2013 was 8 seconds. And the average attention span of goldfish is 9 seconds. So you can see goldfish have better attention span than us. And I personally don't like that stat because I like to think myself a little bit smarter than a goldfish sometimes, right? My attention span. But as you can see, though, the trends, right? We're in a time right now where we're constantly looking, like, for example, those TikTok videos are 4 or 5 seconds, and we obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that can take our attention right now, so our attention is decreasing. But this is where the mind would come in to help out. So what are you gonna expect? Well, you're gonna improve your focus and concentration. You know, your memory is gonna get better with the new neural pathways that it can create. So your ability just to process that information is gonna be better as well. So before I move on, though, do you have any questions in particular here, Jim, about the mind?
Well, someone was asking when you mix them, if you don't mind, kind of a general question. When you mix the drinks, like we mix all three, how quickly should we drink them?
Yeah. So typically, it's not like the ingredients themselves are going to go bad, right? Once you mix it, it's that you want to get all the ingredients the best at once, right? Because that's going to create those results that when we substantiated, you need X amount of ingredients to create certain benefits. So it's best to take it like
Okay.
within, I would say, like a couple of minutes. Like I always use this example. I always use this example of my wife when she was my guinea pig, when she was trying out energy and mind. She said, "Hey, Henry, this isn't doing anything for me." And I was like, "Oh no, that's not good." So I asked her, "Okay, well, how are you taking it?" So she would take a sip, like start her day at 8 in the morning. Then she would take another sip, like around 10 a.m.,
Oh,
you know, and
no.
then later on at 1 a.m. or 1 p.m., sorry. And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's the problem. You're not taking all of it, all the
Right.
ingredients at once, right? It's better to just take it as fast as you
Okay,
can."
now we also do ours in a smaller amount of water. There's no problem with that either, correct?
Nope, absolutely not.
Okay. I remember
Yeah.
Scott Aldridge saying that.
And the nice thing about doing radiance in the morning is you've got that 30 minutes of no protein. So that's a key element when you have the
Hmm.
collagen supportive to not have anything in your system. So it seems to work pretty good before our run because we're done, you know,
Hmm.
way before breakfast.
Okay, so you say mood, this one is your favorite. Recap why this one is your favorite.
So the mind, well, this is my
Mind, I'm sorry.
favorite. Second favorite.
A
I'll say
second.
my
Oh.
favorite on this one. But yeah, this one I love because it has NMN. It's a great ingredient, but there's also another hero in this, and this is phosphatidylserine. So what it is, it's a phospholipid, so it's what your cell membranes have, but that's a huge component to your brain and nervous system. But what happens is, as we get older, it declines. And there's been a lot of studies that when this occurs, it actually can really contribute to that age-related cognitive decline as well. So what this ingredient does, it actually increases the production of acetylcholine as well, which is a really, really powerful neurotransmitter that's going to be very important for just memory and learning. The other thing is that it's going to increase plasticity of the brain, which that means that's just the ability of your brain to basically adjust and change and basically to learn more. right? So as we, get older, you don't want that to your ability to recall things actually lessens as well. So this kind of helps you with that too. And I always like to use this example with the mind. So my mom, she struggles with epilepsy. And one of her things with that is throughout the years, her memory has declined as well. So one of her goals though has always been to get better at, learning, speaking English because I'm from Mexico and I obviously learned it very fast, the English language, but she still struggles. Anyways, I gave her the product. I didn't tell her what it was. And then, she calls me a week or two later and we had this discussion and she's like, what are you giving me? I was like, why? What's going on? Like, are you okay? And she's like, well, that product you gave me, it's helping me. It's helping the English stick. That's what she said.
Right.
So
Cool.
I was like, there you go. So that's just my personal experience I've had with that. And I've heard, other people have such awesome experiences with that
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
that's great.
Mhm. So how does it power your potential? Just real quick, obviously.
Okay, now I've got to ask you a question here, real quick. How the heck do you determine the average attention span of a goldfish?
Well,
Was
you
that
just
you that did that?
Just kidding. No, I didn't do that survey, but that was I'm sure they came up with a creative way.
I'm
I don't
sure.
know.
Okay.
Dr. Lee Osler knows the way to do that. How did we test the goldfish? That would be hard. Okay, this is my favorite.
Hey, before you go on, could I make a comment about mind?
Yes.
You just kind of blew past this, and I think it deserves maybe even a little more. You talked about the NMN,
Oh, yeah.
the nicotinamide mononucleotide. That is a precursor to something that we're really trying to get, which is NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, known as NAD or NAD plus, in the supplement and wellness arena. That is a really critical part of DNA repair, DNA healing, the sirtuin activations. People say, well, do you have sirtuins? It's like, well, this NNN is the precursor to that. And most, I'm just gonna put it out there. There's a lot of other companies that have a niacin-based precursor in their mind type, formulas, but they're using a nicotinamide riboside, which is a sugar precursor, and they call it NR. And so we have actually probably the better precursor to the NAD. And I know that might be in the weeds just a little bit, but to me, that really stands out as an important validation for what ASEA has brought together there. And kudos to you, Henry, for making that happen.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's a really awesome ingredient. We love it. Like you said, NAD plus levels, it's vital in so many areas, right? I think for example, if you take NR, nicotinamide riboside, it still has to convert to NMN and then convert to NAD plus. So, and then it activates the sirtuin. So it's really awesome. If you guys have more time to just read up on it, I highly recommend it. So you can see just how effective of an ingredient that is.
And if you see the list of the benefits with helping with the hormonal levels, this is for any age because PMS and menopause, it's going to make a difference being on mind. So it's not limited to young or old. Everyone, college, high school, can benefit from what's in mind.
No, for sure. Absolutely. And now, Jim, you asked which one was my favorite.
Yep.
It's gonna be the mood. One, because I have 4 children now, and it helps me stay sane. And it actually, I love to implement this during my dieting phases because one of the hardest things when you're dieting is you get grumpy. You just don't have as much patience. So this one really helps me out with that. But again, I also love the fact that it has these adaptogens in there like rhodiola rosea or ashwagandha because like I spoke earlier, last thing you want is to have adrenal fatigue. And we touched a lot on that. And that's going to help bring down those cortisol levels to a level that they need to be. On the right, you're going to see the optimal performance, kind of like there is a correlation, right? If you have too low of stress, you might get bored. You might not have the best increased attention or interest. If you have too much stress, you're gonna have strong anxiety. You're gonna have those complete meltdowns, right? We don't want those. But we want to be is right in the middle. You want some stress, but you don't want too much of it. And this is where mood, I think, it's going to come in and help out. And then the other thing I love about it as well, and you know what, like I always keep talking, Jim, but is there anything on the mood that you have seen personally, or have you guys had an experience with it? Because the thing is, it works fast. That's one thing that you'll notice about this. Someone will be super stressed and they'll take it, and they'll 5 minutes later, they're like, okay, I calm down. I'm at a good level. Have you noticed that? Because I'm going to share a little story with
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys.
Well, and if you study Afron and the benefits, you can look it up in PubMed or other abstracts, and it talks about the benefits that people can get from that one ingredient. That it's amazing that it's in our mood. But yeah, between hormones and sleep, everyone needs to be on mood, and it's not limited to just right before bed.
Absolutely.
You can do it. You can do it at 5 or 6 if you need to.
Hey, someone
Absolutely.
asked the question. I think it's a great question. Are the benefits of taking these 3, 4 cell performance, are the benefits stackable? Do they get, if you do it every day, do the benefits get better?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's actually a great question for this right now. This study right here on Afron, that you see the decreased tension, depression when we took the 28 milligrams of Afron, this was done after 30 days. There was another one before where they had it like 15 days, and the results weren't as great. So as they kept taking it, they noticed better and better results. So yes, it
Wow.
does keep getting better. One other thing I want to mention is something I've been seeing a lot of studies out there is the correlation of ADHD and saffron, and also caffeine as well, right? We know caffeine can help those individuals with ADHD, but with the saffron, if you guys have some time again, research it, because what I like to do and what people have told me they've done that have ADHD, and I have ADHD. I like to also mix sometimes the mood and the energy together. Now you would think that's really counterintuitive, but for someone with ADHD, that makes sense. Because saffron's going to help you, basically calm down, and the caffeine is going to get your attention span as well. So they work 2 and 2 together. So,
That makes sense.
mhm. The other
Maureen?
thing, yeah.
Were you gonna
Yes.
say something?
Oh, no, I was just typing an answer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, well, with the mood,
When you,
let me just say about the mood. Mood was not, I was not interested in mood, quite honestly, when it first came out, because I'm a high energy person. So I was like, I'll take plenty of the energy and I'll throw mind in too. But the mood, I didn't see a real need for until I took it. And those products those ingredients that are in it, the GABA and the ashwagandha, that work on stress, they just kind of bring everything down. Just kind of, and if if you fly a lot, you maybe have a little
Yeah.
fear of flying, it's amazing how it just kind of grounds you, and it just makes you feel just so calm. It's incredible. So
And the people that are around, I mean, you're crowded, places crowded, airports crowded, airplane calms you during those stressful times of travel, for sure.
now someone just asked a good question. What about age of people taking these? Especially, you mentioned the issue that you've got. There's a lot of children in schools that have those issues as well.
Mhm.
And that's becoming a bigger and bigger problem.
No, that's a great question. So obviously we didn't make these for children when we did our research, the amount of ingredients. But what I recommend is, if you're going to try it on children, just take half a sachet,
Sleeves.
right, of the
Okay.
stick pack. Yeah, that's how I would recommend that. But
And someone just asked real quick, as far as the discount, we do have the 3 mind, mood, and energy, not the variety pack, but just mind, mood, and energy. The 30 sticks each are still 30% off in the event you did not know
Right.
that.
And not radiant.
So get back to the one that brought you on the call. And the code is
Performance.
performance
Capital
with a capital P.
letters.
We're just,
Mhm.
The whole
caps
thing needs
matter,
to be capitalized.
Henry,
No, the whole thing.
What was that,
That's what
Jim?
it says.
do the caps matter
It says
on the
it. It says it
code?
on the code.
It does
I'm not
It
sure
says
to be honest.
caps. It says caps because I've done it several
all
times.
caps on the code. Okay. We both were
Yeah,
correct.
and another last thing I want to touch up on mood is the sleep. You mentioned, and sleep is one of the most important things we got to do. Sometimes, like with kids and everything, sometimes we don't get enough sleep. But what we need to do is actually enter into the REM stage of sleep. That's going to allow you to feel more rested. And a lot of times we can't. We are unable to reach these states. But one thing you're going to notice when you start taking the mood product is you're going to have some of the most vivid dreams you've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It's almost like I always say it's like a free theater pass or movie pass to your dreams. It's like, whoa, what was that about? But you're going to feel a lot better rested and you're just going to have more vigor throughout your day.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Radiance. This one is really tasty. I love to take it even when I'm just craving something, delicious here and there. I just like to take it. Sometimes I find myself drinking 2 packets just because, I was like, dang, this is so good. So let's talk about collagen though before we talk about Redox Radiance. So what is collagen? Well, collagen it's just a type of protein that's going to be found in the human body. It's in your skin, bones, connective tissues. So it's very important because it's going to give the strength and elasticity. For example, our skin needs that. And what happens though is that our bodies, as we age, we produce less collagen, which is going to lead to like wrinkles, saggy skin, and joint pain. Here's some quick stats. After age 20, our body produces roughly 1% less collagen per year. Within the first 5 years of menopause, you're going to lose about 30% of your collagen. So you're going to start seeing that huge decline. So what do we got to do? But we got to solve for that problem, right? So that's where Redox Radiance is going to step in here. That's going to help you, decrease those appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, shinier, full volume hair, hydrated skin. You're just going to look like Jim, and you're just going to be looking really glowy, like I mentioned to him when I saw him, right? And interestingly, though, collagen is a complex, so it's a complex system, right? Because how it works. So, for example, say I eat my traditional collagen supplement. What the body has to do, it takes that animal collagen and then it breaks it down to the gelatin. Then from the gelatin, it has to break it down to peptides, to the amino acids, back to the peptides, back to the gelatin, and then it can become human collagen. So you can see it's not just I take one collagen and it's right there. It has to digest,
Yeah.
it has to break it down, and it's complex. Whereas Redox Radiance, we say, you know what? Let's skip all that. Let's just get straight to what we need to do. Let's get straight to the amino acids that we know we need to create collagen so it can create the peptides, gelatin, and human collagen. So we are just efficient with Redox Radiance to do what it needs to do. The problem,
And
though,
no stomach upset.
no stomach upsets. Yep,
That's
that's
right.
one of the other problems. Is like because all that digesting and that can, sometimes irritate individual stomachs. The other thing, though, we did, well, we're like, okay, great, we've made the collagen. Now let's focus on protecting the collagen. So that's where Delphinol comes in. Delphinol is actually a very unique ingredient. It's a branded ingredient. It's actually one of the most powerful antioxidants in the world. As you can see there, Maki berry, it's 7 times the antioxidant content of acai. So you can see we're dealing with a very powerful antioxidant, which is going to help all the free radical damage that could cause the collagen. Free radical damage can happen from pollution, from excess sun exposure. So you need to protect, what you've created, which is the collagen. And then we're like, well, let's get even more fancy. Let's add some ceramides. So what ceramides are, they basically support your outer skin layer. It kind of keeps your skin hydrated, right? So it doesn't, all your hydration, your moisture doesn't escape. So it helps retain all that in there. So it maintains your skin really smooth. And that's one of the first results you're going to experience with this product. Your skin is going to feel more hydrated. And that's going to be due to the ceramides in here.
Now, Henry, I do have a picture I have to show. And so I already know she's on the call tonight, so I've got to give her a hard time. But when you're ready, I have a Radiance before and after picture I need to show. So
All right.
Phyllis, Lane, get ready.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, what makes us different in a nutshell? Well, Redox Radiance is going to be made with plant-based ingredients, ready for immediate use in collagen formation. So that means it's going to be less allergenic and less irritable to your stomach. And it's a multi-targeted approach. Most products you see out there just focus on just the collagen. There is no antioxidant part to it. There is no hydration benefit to it immediately, but we went ahead and did all that. Whereas
Hey,
traditional ones,
Henry,
yeah.
can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Are there peptides in this? I know we have amino acid chains, but peptides is such a hot topic right now. Would you consider these peptides or is it different?
No, that's going to be different. Because once even the peptides, they themselves have to be broken down to amino acids too. A lot of individuals think peptides is like the smallest, we're like, well, I took peptide, but it still has to be broken down sometimes even more. So that's why we start at the amino acid part. Then it becomes a peptide. So yeah, we don't start from peptides.
So we're going even smaller than that.
Exactly.
All right, super.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And this is just how does it power your potential? Well, it's going to help you with that self-confidence. You're going to look better. And when you look better, you feel better and you want to go out there and conquer the world, basically, right?
Yeah. And Sean Burke said that it works on, he's seen it in his own athletic performance, and other people have said it's helped with the bones and the muscles, even though we don't tout it as that, but we've definitely heard people say helping with their workouts.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And Redox Rain is what we're seeing. Well, in 2 weeks, we saw more hydrated and supple skin. 45 days, we started noticing more effect on recall appearance. So some will see benefits faster than that, but that's usually where we saw our average. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about real quick, Lee Osler or Marine Hayes, step in here real quick. Let's talk about telomeres. I know we're running pretty short on time, but can you just briefly tell me what
I told you, Maureen.
what telomeres are and why are they so important to maintain them?
Hey, sure, I'm happy unless Lee, you want to take it. But
Go ahead, Marie.
okay,
Yeah,
these
let Lee do that.
telomeres are
Oh,
just
go
the
ahead.
end caps on your chromosomes.
Mhm.
And so, your chromosomes, when your cells are dividing, your chromosomes are copied and they kind of split apart and then they're copied and then the cells split. When the telomere protects that DNA information on the chromosome, and it kind of depends on how long your telomeres are as to how many times you can copy that information. So when they become very short, you can't unravel them anymore. You can't copy that information anymore. Your cells can't divide. Game over for that cell. So looking at the telomere length is actually gives an idea of your longevity, of your overall health. And interesting, and I'm sure you're going to address this, Henry. One of the things that people have looked at for some time is how can you protect or increase the length of the telomeres, either keep them at the length they are or increase that length so that you get more longevity. And it's interesting because when I was doing my age management medicine certification 12 years ago, there was a product out that sounded fantastic that actually helped to increase telomere length. It was over $1,000 a month.
Mm.
And so I didn't get on it, even though it sounded great. But go ahead, Henry, and let them in on what's so special about our products.
Yeah. All our products in Cell Performance, energy, mind, and mood contain ingredients that are going to help support that telomere length. And how are we doing that? Well, those ingredients help an enzyme called telomerase, right? Telomerase is going to help maintain those lengths of the telomeres. It kind of re-adds that cap, kind of helps reconstruct it, right? So you're looking at Redox Energy, guarana, Panax ginseng, B12, Enaman, for mind, zinc, mood, ashwagandha, rhodiola, rosea, radiance, delphinol. So it's not every day that you can say, hey, I just took an energy product that also helps me with my telomere length. So that's or you're taking a collagen product, but hey, it's also helping me with my telomere length. So I love to highlight that. I know we're short on time, so I want to get to the do's and don'ts, or you know what, better yet, Jim, let's get to the questions that individuals have on here. I know you wanted to share
Well,
what you.
I think that may cover. Why don't you please just go ahead and go through that to
Okay.
get the best results, please?
Yeah, oh, back on the display settings. Oh,
Now you got to
Jim.
remember how you got it back.
No, I remember, but I just accidentally. Okay. You see it now?
No.
Well, we
It
see the
switched. There you
There you
go.
go.
You
It's
know,
coming.
one question, Henry, how long do we have to wait after the Radiance before we take any other protein? So you have a protein source?
Yeah. Typically you're about, 5 to 10 minutes,
Oh,
30 minutes at least. I would say actually 30 minutes.
yeah,
Because
usually, yeah.
That's what I was told.
looking at least a digestion, right? That's how long usually it takes things to get started and going. Again, that can be a little different for others and whatnot, depending on how healthy you are in your digestive tract. Um,
Can
Yeah.
I ask, are you better also doing the other ones without food? Is that one of the don'ts, or does it matter? Oh, does not need to be.
It doesn't need to be empty.
it doesn't,
So-
you don't need to be on an empty stomach. However, one of my things I like to do, like I started in the beginning, is I do like to take my energy in the morning on an empty stomach.
Always.
Yeah.
You know, the
But it
other
doesn't.
thing,
Mhm.
oh, I was just going to say, I saw one of the slides that said take within a certain amount of time for increased potency. My understanding was that you want to take it for the full benefit, but like
Exactly.
you forgot to take it and it's still sitting there. You can actually drink it the next day. It's not going to lose potency in your
Exactly.
tank. Okay, good. Okay, good.
Which one is that, Maureen?
Like if you mix them up, say you mix them up and you get busy and you don't drink them,
Yeah.
it's not that they're going to lose their potency within 15, 20 minutes. It's best if you drink them to get the full effect of the ingredients within 15
Okay.
or 20
Okay.
minutes.
But
But
they're
if you
not going to
just
go. They're not going to
get
deteriorate.
Yeah, you can drink it the next day as long as you drink it within those 15 minutes. So you're going to get those
Okay.
full benefits. So
Okay. Cool.
Awesome. Well, let's start from slide one. Just get one back to. I guess
Lee,
we
did
can-
you want to add anything in there before I show that disgusting picture? I'm sorry, the picture of Phyllis's arm.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm
I-
done sharing.
Yeah. No, I didn't know if Lee had any. He's been awful quiet tonight. I can tell he's about ready to burst.
Yeah, I do. I'm bursting. So and I guess my closing out comment here with all of this taken, and thank you very much, Henry,
Mhm.
is the complementary nature of everything that we're talking about with each other, but also with the ASEA redox signaling molecules. I like to talk about the redox active aspect of these cellular performance. Basically, these are nutritionals, nutraceuticals, and herbal medications or herbal constituents, compounds. And they're blended together very strategically, which is why I like that one telomere slide that kind of shows how they all kind of work together to that benefit. But when you think about what the redox pathways or the redox cell biology have in the cell, and you mix all of this together, you're looking at things like antioxidants, you're looking at DNA repair, telomere protection, energy production, the Krebs cycle. All of these work together synergistically. When you think of brain health, the neurodegenerative aspects, and you say, well, how does each one of these work? Well, think of ASEA redox signaling and its ability to promote fatty acid metabolism, getting into ketones, right? So some of these cellular performance things, like you noted earlier, the fat metabolism, if you can strategically make that happen, is producing ketones or helping shift to produce ketones because you're oxidizing fatty acids in Krebs cycle. That's very healthy for brain cells. You add on to that all of these other things such as NMN, DNA repair, sirtuin activation, and so on and so forth, and it just blends together. And I also want to make one last comment, and that is, we made a disclaimer earlier that we don't treat, diagnose, or cure diseases, and yet we've kind of talked about some of those with cellular performance, and it's because some of the individual ingredients that are put in already have established literature regarding some of these conditions. And so that's why we can kind of step into that area just a little bit specific to the ingredient. And if you want to drill into this on your own, you can take whatever condition you want to name and go into PubMed, go in and do your Google Scholar research and take that ingredient itself, not the redox mind, mood, or energy, but take the ingredient and you can go research on it and find out how it is related to some of the conditions that you want. And so that is a safe way of investigating, what we're talking about without getting ourselves into trouble. We're not talking about named conditions, except if they're already there in the literature with some of the ingredients of the cellular performance.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to show the picture now. So please just no comments and leave Phyllis alone. She's had to suffer through this for I don't know how long. But anyway, this is Phyllis Lane. Her arm,
You can see the year. So since
and yeah, so it was what, 7 weeks.
Yep.
She was on all the other products. She got on Radiance, and I think she was even on Radiance a little bit before she took her before picture. So that would have been worser. My favorite word is worser. But then 7 weeks later, she had a neighbor, one of her associates, take the after picture. So there you go.
transform.
As I say, the arm of ASEA is Phyllis Lane's right arm. So there you go,
Pretty
guys.
amazing.
There you go. So
Yeah.
any last things, Maureen or Lee? I told you we couldn't keep this to 45 minutes, Maureen.
And I was just,
Look,
yeah,
it wasn't my fault.
well, there's just so much to share.
I talk a
Henry's so
lot.
smart and so
Yeah,
much-
you did, Henry. I'm going to blame you. Hey, this was awesome. We'd
Fabulous.
love to have you
Love
back.
it. They already want
was-
you back, Henry. They want an encore. But Jim, you are chatty.
I am not. I never talk too much. Just ask my team. No,
Lee
no,
had
never
fun.
mind.
Lee didn't say anything tonight. I was probably chattier than more. But you know what? You're gonna have a reprieve from me for 2 weeks because I'll be traveling.
We're gonna miss you. We'll see you
All
at
right.
conference. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, for those that can't necessarily tolerate energy alone or mind alone, if you mix it with the radiance, having that wonderful dragon fruit, that flavor, it really settles it down. It's a great combination and tastes good. So, and it's natural stevia, if that wasn't mentioned, but so certainly it's plenty safe.
So,
But,
and you can mix
yeah.
these with other things as well. So if you want to mix it with a juice or again, heat it up and make it a hot tea or whatever, that can easily be done. That doesn't hurt anything, correct, Henry?
Nope. Yep. You're good.
Okay, cool. One of my gals asked about citric acid, that if you have, do you need to be cautious and make sure some of the items in there that you're not allergic to?
Yeah, the citric acid. If you are allergic to it, what's the question?
Well,
If they should avoid
yeah.
it. Or,
Well,
Uh,
one particular person said, and again, I'm just saying there may be something in these that, because with herbals, people can be allergic to those things, correct?
yeah, I mean, I haven't found citric acid to be too much. And really quick, the citric acid, I get a lot of questions from this. Is where does it come from? It comes from cassava. So that's actually it's a vegetable. So yeah,
So it's all natural.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Okay,
that
so
like
it's in the-
yucca or taro root? Is that the same thing? Cassava?
I'm trying to think of it.
I think it
I
is.
just like to say cassava because it sounds fancy, right?
It
Just
does
kidding.
better than yucca. Yucca,
It's, I know it's like a starchy root vegetable.
yeah, like a root vegetable. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
my
Cool.
husband's Greek, and I think that's one of the things I eat.
So I think it
I-
is there. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Henry, are you going to be at? Are you going to be giving any kind of training at the conference, the North American conference? Are you going to be speaking about the products?
I am not. I'm not.
God.
Yeah. We'll have to talk to them later, right? So we can have a workshop. I would love to have,
Yeah.
smaller teams. That would be great if we can get together and just have little workshops. So
But
And
you
did-
will have the store,
Okay,
right? So people
promotion?
could go and
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be at the store, so we can
they
talk about it.
sample, they can read about it, get literature.
So someone did ask a good question real quick. ASEA first or cell performance? Because we always do our ASEA first
Well, yeah, when you
in the
yeah.
morning, and then after that, then we take 5 minutes later, then we take the CP, the cell performance. But these can also act as independent technologies, correct? I mean, you don't have to have the ASEA with the cell performance, but if you do them together, you're going to obviously get a bigger bang.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. exactly it.
Well, guys, we could go on forever. Thank
we
you.
could.
This
Oh, well,
was
wait a
awesome.
minute. wait a minute. I know we're way
What?
over
You're-
time, Jim.
Now
because of
you're
the-
doing it now.
But no, but did we talk about the special? Did we talk about getting 30%?
Well, we threw it out.
I did
We
mention
threw
it.
out
I-
We
30%.
did, okay. I
You
guess I told you.
Bring it up and see, you're not paying, well, you need a
Okay,
little bit
good.
more
Yeah.
mind or go ahead and recap it, Maureen.
Okay, you guys, just until supplies last or September 20th, whichever comes first. Boxes of Mind, Mood, and Energy. The individual boxes are on sale for 30% off until supplies. run.
Yes. Yes.
So get
Hold on,
it.
I'm trying to be Vanna.
Our
There you
favorites.
go, Vanna.
Look at that.
I mean, it does not include the variety pack,
Right.
and it does not include the radiance, you guys, but just the simple packs of energy, mind, and mood. So you know what? I'm storing up. I'm sure
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
it's
of
a great
people
savings.
Definitely.
30%
Great
off is
savings.
huge. And don't wait, you guys, because you know what? If you wait until September 15th and all of the stores are gone, you're gonna be sad. So
Yeah.
30% off is huge. So get it.
agree.
Get on tonight and get it. All right. I'm
Yeah.
done. All right.
Agree.
Awesome. We have Dr. Dick Walker next Friday. Come back and join us. Dr. Osler, us, and Dick Walker. We may get Dr. Ray Dixon to join us as well, Lee. So with that, guys, thank you so much. God bless. We'll be back. The
Hey,
y'all
recording will be up at redoxmatters.com very shortly. So thank you. Bring other people back. Do not go to Amazon. Go to the person that brought you on the call. Buy it from them. We're business people. This is an opportunity as well. So please get back to the one that got you on this call. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
everyone. We'll see you.
Bye.
God bless.
Love you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.
See you in a few
Bye-bye.
weeks.